Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Queen Charlotte. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted shows, reality shows, and also the reactions. If you're returning, you one of my peoples, welcome back. So we have one comment from the last video, which was Bridgerton season 2, and it is from the ADH Diva. Hey boo, hey friend, thought I'd pop in and say what's up. What's up with you? And I appreciate you coming over here and leaving a little comment on my videos. Thank you. Before we get into this review, let's take a look at some of the wigs that Queen Charlotte has been wearing. We start off with baby Charlotte, 17 years old, being told that she is going to be marrying the King of England. So she has to leave home for the first time, travel to another country to marry this king, and she already putting two and two together and realized something in the milk ain't clean. Why they want to come way over here to us for me to marry him? They ain't got nobody over there for him to marry. So she's like, yeah, she sums up, but her brother Adolphus is like, we basically have no choice. They are the royal empire. We are a small province over here. I could not say no. What do you want me to do? So she was like, okay, I don't want to do this, so I'm just going to be silent while I'm sitting here looking fabulous in this dress that I have on. One, sits, still, because if I move too much, then I'm going to get stabbed with these whale bones. And I just cannot imagine. Already, you got a corset on, which is made of whale bones, and all this fabric. I am immediately hot. And then we traveling by horse and buggy, and all the bumps and all these things, and it's gonna take a while because we riding my horse and buggy, and then when I get there, I'm gonna be hot and all these other things. So they get, to England, and she is presented to Princess Augusta, which is King George's mama. And she's like, ooh, your hips is looking good. You're going to be making some babies out here. And then she get the rubbing on her skin. And I was like, is she trying to see if that's a real mole? Or is she just trying to see, are you wearing something that's going to... I don't know if they had makeup back then. They probably didn't. So she up there rubbing on her cheek like... And then looking back at the dudes back there. And they looking like, yeah, I mean, we did say that. So Queen Charlotte, which is Princess Charlotte at the time, was like, I bought my own dress. It's from Paris, and Princess Augusta's like, no, you're going to wear one of our dresses. This is how we do it over here, and shut up about it. That's basically how she was. She wasn't talking like that, but that I was reading between the lines. And this is where we meet young Brimsley, and she's walking, and he's like 5 paces behind her, and she just stops like, tell me about this king. Is he right in the mind? Is he ugly? Tell me. There's like, he is the King of England. He is the sovereign. He is this. She's like, yeah, those all mean the same thing. So when she's getting fitted for her dress, all the ladies in waiting and the ladies who are making it, fitting her for her dress, they're like, you're going to have a whole lot of babies. And she was like, yeah, I'm not folded. So she's like, let me go ahead and use the bathroom. And she decides, I'm going to run for it, which I don't know where she thought she was going to go. Because I'm assuming that the palace is surrounded by guards, so people just can't be going and, coming and going and say, please. And this is where we switch over to a young Lady Danbury and her husband, which I don't know why they did that to us. Because I'm sitting here and he on top of her grunting, and then when he roll over, we are presented with this face, and I'm like, whoa, that's like one of those things where you kind of jump back, and I'm like, why would they do that? And then to make matters worse, he gets proceeding to taking his teeth out of his mouth and putting it in a jar, talking about some, you may rest now, wife. And she was like, okay, thank you. And she immediately hops up to go get in the tub to wash him off of her. Now, I'm going to say he a good 50 years older than her, which in itself is like, why would y'all do Lady Danbury like that? This woman has suffered in her life just by being with this man. So we go back over there to Princess Augusta, and she's like, y'all didn't tell me that she was brown. And it was like, we told you she had more blood. Now, mind you, Queen Charlotte is light. Very light. And we talk about some, I didn't know she was going to be brown. But then I gotta remember, this is the 1800s. So, like, exactly what do you expect? So they was like, what we gonna do? We gonna invite some black people to the wedding. Who don't love a wedding? Everybody loves a wedding. So, the black people with a little bit of money, we gonna invite them to the wedding, and we gonna give them some titles. So this is when Miss Danbury learns of this, that she is going to the wedding. And she's going to be a part of the Queen's Court. And she's like, let me see this later, because this don't sound right. Like, Lady Danbury already knows something, like, what's up, what's good. Back with young, she, Princess Charlotte at the time, she trying to escape, and this is where we meet King George. And she's looking like, just help me out. I'm trying to get up out of here. I'm supposed to be marrying this man. I don't know what he looked like. He probably looked like a ghoul. He probably looked like a goblin. I'm not trying to marry him. He's like, well, basically, I'm the king, and I'm no ghoul, and I'm no goblin. And she's like, okay, you looking kind of nice, so, I think I can do this. So she's like, all right, let me go get my dress on. I'm going to wear the dress that I want to wear, and I'm going to have my hair in a nice little afro, and I'm going to be out here representing from what I am. And when she's walking, down the aisle, Lady Danbury is like, all right, the pieces is coming together. Her husband, he old as dirt. So he's like, what did you say? She's like, nothing. I just want to say this right here. I cannot stand her husband. He is very misogynistic. And he is very full of himself. We just going to say that. So after the wedding, Charlotte, she getting, coming, they done proceeded to tell everybody. Lady Danbury was like, hey, congratulations, but if you ever need anything, you can just call me. It was like that, girl, we both black, so if you need anything, I'm going to let you know the rundown on how everything go on over here. That was the vibe that I was getting. But George just drops her off at home like, this your house, I hope you enjoy it, but I'm going to go over here to my house, and this is how we going to live. And she was like, we're supposed to be married. Like, what's good? So, she's 17 years old, in a new country, freshly married to this man who presented himself to be nice. And now he's talking about saying, we not going to be living together. I have done what I was supposed to do, which was marry you, and we just going to go about our separate lives. So that's how she spent her time, away from George, spending days on end, just getting dressed up 3 times a day, getting fed food that she not really used to, and she frustrated. She's like, you know what, I really should have just jumped over that bush when I had a chance to, but George was over there looking all kind of cute, and that kind of distracted me, and that's where I went wrong. So yeah, if I had a chance, I would have did that again. But then we find out why George is the way he is, and George has had some kind of mental issue going on, and he don't really want Charlotte to know about these mental issues because he don't want to scare her off. It seems like just about everybody most of the people in the palace knows what's going on, but nobody's telling Charlotte. So after a few days of this, she decides to go to where he's in. Like, I thought you was at a brothel. You over here looking at the stars and you don't want to be over here with me? Really? He get to fussing at her yet again. So she was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. Brimsley is concerned about her because she's ready to leave. King George is his right-hand man, his Brimley, which I forget his name. He worried about what's going on. It's like, what are we going to do? While this is going on, we have Lady Danbury meeting up with the Queen because she been like sneaking over. Like, first, I know I'm all over the place and I apologize. After a few days and Queen Charlotte was there by herself, she's like, I want to see my ladies in waiting. And Brim was like, you can't really do that because you're on your honeymoon. But I'm going to tell you how to do things you're not supposed to do. And Lady Danbury, that's my girl. I don't know how he know Lady Danbury, but Brim was like, I always liked her, so why don't you invite her over? Well, this is making Lord Danbury upset because, like, why you need to go over there? I'm the one who knew the king's, his granddaddy. And she's like, I know, it's all because of you. So, she slipped over there. And after a few, pleasantries, Lady Danbury was like, can I be real with you? I know you making this up. Your wedding night was not like it was supposed to be. I know mine wasn't. It was the most horrible experiences in my life. I wish I would never have to go through that in life again. And this is where Queen Charlotte finds out about consummating the marriage, which she didn't know anything about. So Lady Danbury got to make some drawings for her to know what it is. And Lady Danbury was like, I have never enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I be sitting here writing out a grocery list, in my head, designing the dress that I would like to wear. I'm doing everything but, thinking about the man who is on top of me grunting and doing all these things. We fast forward back, not fast forward, but we flip back and forth between young Queen Charlotte and older Queen Charlotte. And we see her kids. Now, her kids, we see what, young Queen Charlotte looked like and young King George looked like. And their kids don't look like that. I'm not saying they ugly. I'm just saying they don't look like that. None of them, they all got, yeah. The thing is, she want a grandbaby. The only grandbaby that she got passed away in childbirth. So now she looking to her kids like, look here, I need a royal baby. I don't need any more illegitimate babies over here, illegitimate royal babies. I want some actual factual, you done married this woman or you done married this man and y'all done came together and made a baby. This the bloodline not gonna end with y'all. Y'all daddy, the bloodline gonna continue on. And I was like, she had 15 kids? And back in the day, if you sneeze wrong, you was up out of here. So just imagine going through birth that many times. And like all the complications that can go on with birth back then without all the medical knowledge that we have. And then I was like, you been over here trying to get everybody else in the time married and you ain't been worried about your kids? Okay. This is when we find out that George has been being experimented on. That's the only way I can explain it. He's been getting doggone it, thrown in ice buckets. He's been eating gruel. He's getting all these treatments to deal with his mental issue from this doctor who, in my personal opinion, it seemed like he was getting some kind of perverse pleasure out of torturing the king. Because the way he was acting in the treatment, like, granted, this is the 1700s at the time, and they didn't have the best medical knowledge, and what we perceive to be something in our time, they found it to be worse. Like, in the royal family, you have to be the best of the best of the best. You can't have a cough. You can't have asthma. Like, you gotta be of sound mind. Which, granted, I assume if you a king, you would need to be of sound mind. But, like, the smallest things you can't do if the king. And he want to get this treatment because he would want to be with Charlotte, in his right mind. And when he finally does meet up back with her, and Charlotte's thinking that they having a good relationship, the next morning he's telling his mama, well, I did my deed. I hope you're happy now. So Charlotte's like, oh, so you did this for your mama. And this is when they was going back and forth for even and odd days to make sure she gets pregnant type of situation. And then it turned into like, we no longer do it even in odd days. Like, we really want to be together forever, for real. And we in young Charlotte time now. But Lady Danbury, she wants to host the ball of the season. And Parliament, they not here for it. She can't do that because, she a black lady. How dare she would have thrown this ball? And then on top of that, some of the other ladies are not going to want to show up. So she goes to Charlotte like, hey, I want to throw this ball. what you gonna do about it? And she was like basically what you want to do. And she had to let her know, like, this ain't all about you. You over there focusing on that man. You need to be focusing on your people. She said that without saying that. And then we get a glimpse of young Lady Bridgerton and her raggedy mama. And her raggedy mama don't like the fact that the queen is, she black. And she's like, it's bad enough I gotta see her at court. Now she want me to go over to her house. But young Lady Bridgerton, which is Miss Ledger at the time, she's like, well, I heard Lady Danbury has a beautiful garden. I would love to go over there. And she was like, how dare you, daughter? We're not supposed to like black people. That's what the mama was giving off. But she was like, they have money. Some of them have more money than us. And they was giving titles just like we was giving titles. And, the mom was like, you're going to confuse your thoughts. And she was like, well, Daddy, Lord Danbury went to school with the king's granddaddy. And they have money. So how are they different from us? And he's like, you right. You right. So Lady Danbury, she hosts her ball. The king and the queen, they show up. Lord Ledger, he comes in. He's like, I like you, Lady Danbury. I want us to be friends. And I was like, hold on. What you doing, Lord Ledger? I see you. So, as you know, the bar was going on. He's like, I would like to have a dance with you, Lady, what's her name, Lady Danbury. And I was like, what you got going on, Lord Ledger? All right. They get to dance, and then everybody else starts, mingling and dancing. And Lady Danbury, she happy because, hey, yes, this is a successful ball. But it had to end tragically because now Lord Danbury looking like he want to go upstairs and get on top of her and start grunting. And he got too excited, and next thing you know, we hear thump. And she's like, you good? He not good. He not good at all. He not here no more. She happy. And Cora happy. And it look like the rest of the staff is happy because he not here no more. We've been waiting for this day. We happy over here. But we not happy long enough because now we find out that he been lying. He don't have the money that he has. And she don't know how things gonna go. And then the rest of the people okay, you the first, black person with title who has lost a spouse. So how does the lines of succession go? Is your son gonna be the new Lord of Danbury, or are you still gonna be Lady Danbury, or are you just gonna be Miss Danbury? So now we got to figure out some things. And Lady Danbury, she got to go see Princess Augusta, to talk to her about the line of succession. And Parliament, they not really trying to hear that because this is still the great experiment, and we have to figure out some things. Meanwhile, George had an episode while he was Charlotte, and he didn't ran out into the garden naked, and she want to know what's going on, because why ain't nobody tell me what's going on? And she was like, she went to confront Princess Augusta yeah, I noticed all the knives in the kitchen is gone and certain books is gone. What's up with that? Why ain't nobody tell me that something was wrong with my husband? And he hears this and he all upset, and I'm like, oh. Meanwhile, present day Queen Charlotte, she contacts Lady Danbury, her best good friend, and Lady Bridgerton, and wanting to know, y'all have a lot of kids. How did you make them get married? And Lady Danbury was like, my kids is grown and they are many countries away, and I'm happy about it. But Lady Bridgerton was like, it's good if they love. And she was like, love? Oh, we ain't trying to do all that. I'm just gonna force them to get married so I can get some real grandbabies over here. They looking like, okay, I guess, yeah, if that's what you want to do. Now Queen Charlotte, she pregnant. George, he not happy. He happy, but he not happy. Because now he's stressed out. What if something happened to the baby? And he not trying to see her. But she calls her brother you know what? I don't want to be here no more. Come take me back to our country. He's like, you carrying the royal baby, and that is treason if you try to leave. So she was like, all right, you sold me off to be a queen, I'm gonna be a queen. So she go find King George, and he is over there being tortured by this mad scientist. And she was like, I will take you up out of here. Get my husband home, get him a good nice meal, and give him a bath. And I'm going to take care of the rest. You're not finna be over here just treating my husband no any old type of way. So she done got him home, and she thinks she doing right. But Reynolds, his Brimsley was like, yeah, he not good. And she was like, you don't know nothing. That's my husband. I know what's good for him. And he's like, no, not really. So when he needs to go take a speech, he's freaking out yet again. She ends up having a baby. Well, she's in labor, and things is not going good. So him being Farmer George, he was able to get the baby out safely and all these other things. So I was like, okay, good. Present day Queen Charlotte, her kids is mad at her because you have never been a mama, you have been our queen, and now you want to rule us of what to do, and we're not here for it. She done already told two of her sons, look here, these is your wives, y'all get married, be happy about it, shut up, get married, and make me some royal grandbabies. Meanwhile, Lady Bridgerton, she missing a man. She had a man in her life in some years, and she want that in her life. Yeah, that's where we going. George finally goes in front of Parliament, makes his speech. Oh yeah, Lady Danbury and Lord Ledger, she out walking and accidentally walks on his land. And they like, okay, hey, how you doing? And he's like, all right, you want to walk again? Maybe we can walk again tomorrow. And next thing you know, they start getting together. And I'm like, oh, so Lady Danbury could have been Lady Bridgerton's stepmama. Okay, yeah, that happened. But I guess he was feeling guilty and was like, we can't do this no more. So I like you, but I can't do that. I'm a married man, and as raggedy as his wife was, he didn't want to do that. I just find it interesting that happened, and maybe that's why Lady Danbury liked Lady Bridgerton so much. Cause like you could have been my daughter. I'm sorry, y'all, but what else happened? I know I'm all over the place. Forgive me for that. What was I? Oh yeah. After Lady Bridgerton and Lord Ledger, they stopped their affair. Prince Adolphus, Queen Charlotte's brother, was taking a fancy to Lady Danbury's. Like, I see you are out of mourning, so hey, how about we get together? And I'm like, I guess I was like long, you mourn for a little while, and then he was like, hey, I like you, I want to be with you, let's be together. And she was really contemplating it until he said he want his own kids. And she was like, I don't ever in life want to do that again. I already did that 4 times. I'm not trying to do it again. I am sorry, I cannot be with you. But in the end, Queen Charlotte, she's like, you should have, Lady Danbury, you should have came to me and let me know that, you was having these troubles. And my brother, he'll be all right, but you my friend, you my girl. So if you need anything, I am here for you. And this is when we find out that Queen Charlotte is pregnant yet again. And I'm like, girl, didn't you just have that baby? Like, you just had that baby. We did see their Brimsley and Reynolds. They had them little love affair going on. And Poe Brimsley was at the end dancing. And it was like young them. And then it was like older Brimsley without Reynolds. And I'm like, where's maybe Reynolds was off with the king more because, the king, as he got older, he never got right. His mental issues got worse. So Reynolds and Brimsley couldn't really be together for real like that. And I was like, oh, poor Brimsley. What else happened? I'm trying to go over my mind and think. Oh, yeah. Her son is like, hey, my wife, she's pregnant. We waited a while, and she gave him a hug. And this is probably the first time ever in his life that he has hugged her. And that's like, it'll probably be a boy. She's like, it'll be alright if it's a queen, because I've been doing this queen thing since Queen Thing's been doing queen things. So that would be good either way. And I was like, yeah, I was happy for her. And then that last scene, she went to find George. And she is like, hide from the heavens with me. And she gets under the bed. And he gets under the bed and lets them know that their son is gonna be a daddy. And he was like, she's like, I'm glad I didn't go over that bush. And he's like, I'm glad you didn't. And we see like old her and old him, then young him and young her, then vice versa, like old her and young him. And I was like, oh my goodness, because like the way it seemed in past that Queen Charlotte did not like George. That's the way it seemed. Like, is he dead yet? Like, bruh, what is going on? Why won't this man just leave this earth? I am so tired of him. But it was like painful for her to see him go through this. And these mental issues started before they was married, and that has been him their whole relationship. And her not having the man that she loves, like, he's there physically, but he's not there mentally, and there's nothing she can do about it, so she's just stuck. And that's why she was always like, is he dead yet? Because, like, maybe I could breathe again if he is actually gone. We also find out that Lady Danbury was promised to Lord Danbury when she was 3 years old. 3. Just a 3. 1, 2, 3. Her mom and daddy said, hey, elder man Danbury, here's our daughter who is 3. I know you like 75 at the time right now, but would you like our 3-year-old daughter? That just disturbed me something awful. It really did. Now, he wasn't actually like 60, 70, but like, he was old enough to be her parent and maybe grandparent. I'm just saying. Like, 3. Now, granted, like, she was promised at 3, so I'm pretty sure they didn't get married until she was about 16. But the fact that she was 3 and she was promised to this man, that really disturbed me something awful. I'm like, wow. Then we see Lady Danbury getting all giggly when she finds this old hat that Lord Ledyard had given her, and she had it on display. And Lady Bridgerton went over her house and seen said hat and was like, that is a hat that my daddy used to... Lady Danbury, you and my daddy? So they have to sit down. And Lady, they said it without saying it. Like, yeah, I was with your daddy, but you my friend. Please forgive me for being with your daddy. You gotta understand, your mama was raggedy and so was my husband. She didn't say that, but that was the vibe it was giving, y'all. Forgive me. So, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are also on my beautiful face with a video. You can click on it, you can like it, you can share it with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.